Today is Monday, the 6th of April, 2020. I am Julie Hankinson, and this is the view out my window. Well, today, the Nike in Japan is up 4% on news that an emergency situation has been declared in Japan, which translates to pumping quite a bit more money into the economy. So that's the reason that the Nike's up, is because this is good news. It's like in the United States when we get a stimulus and we are seeing a large injection of government money to prop up the economy. In the United States, however, the oil meeting, which was supposed to have occurred between Russia and the Arabs and the United States, was postponed to Thursday. And this is I believe, a foreshadowing, because at this time, nobody wants to budge. The U.S. doesn't want to stop pumping, and we don't have any place else to store it. I mean, you can only store so much oil. We're storing it in our reserves. We're storing it offshore in tanker trucks. Not tanker trucks, boats, excuse me. And so there's only so many places we can store it. And we can't keep pumping oil and buying oil. And on the one hand, we need to support our shale production, but they have a set profit loss area. And right now, when they pump, they're pumping in the loss area. So they can't continue to do that. And as far as the Arabs go, they have a very extensive welfare plan, welfare state, if you will, that is pumped up by their oil industry. And if the people do not receive their state support, then there will be discord in the nation. And that means political upheaval. And that is the last thing they want to do. So the question rises, will they take a price cut in order to continue to sell their oil to the United States? Or will they take their cars and go play in someone else's sandbox? Which is entirely possible. We don't know. Again, nobody wanted to have the meeting this weekend. They all said not happening, and it was just a nice way to say, oh, we'll postpone it to Thursday. No. What do you want to bet that never happens also? So for the rest of the world, they're like us, a little up, a little down, all depending on the COVID-19 virus infection numbers and the death numbers and the disruption to their economy. But like us and like Japan, the governments are all printing money like crazy to prop up their economy and especially to prop up their stock market. The governments are buying, non-government bonds because people just cannot go into work and manufacture products whenever it's a life or death situation, and half of them are on death's door too. So yes, this is a worldwide recession I really believe it's going down into the depression, worldwide depression. Some people say no, but I believe it's quite obvious that we are definitely looking. This is not going to get kick-started overnight whenever the death rates and infections decline, because then we can get reinfection. Right now, our market is looking at the oil prices, which of course are going to be chaotic this week. As in, I really expect them to go down because we have nothing to shore the oil, the energy markets up. Everyone's saying we're looking for stock prices, earnings, but the earnings are based on the numbers before the coronavirus hit the United States. So the earnings is based on output and sales before our companies were impacted. So if, this is true, then I believe that a lot of people are going to be looking at the layoff numbers. Because really that is showing the true picture. If you don't have your plants open, if you are not producing a product, you can't say, oh, we made so much more money last quarter, whenever you are not making money this quarter. You're not going to be making money next quarter, and you possibly could begin to be ramping up production in the following quarter. Things this week, I really believe that our market is going to go down, which then begs the question, will the Fed provide additional stimulus money to the market? Because they're going to be desperate, because it is going to be touching a new bottom this week. I truly believe that our market will see new bottoms. And in an effort to relieve that, we can expect the Fed to print some more money, which will then mean that it will go up a portion, but it's not going to hit any new highs. So this week is going to be very bad for unemployment, because the small businesses have not got the money in their hands yet. Big businesses, they're making promises. Some are following through, and some are taking the money and then not doing what they have promised. And that begs for local political involvement and holding local manufacturers and local businesses accountable, because the government has admitted that they're not going to be able to do all the policing that is required. They are just throwing money out there to businesses as fast as they can, and they admit that some of it's going to fall through the cracks. And if you're not monitoring for corruption in your local businesses, who will? I mean, it then just becomes an all-out free-for-all. Everybody sticks their hand out, and then no one smacks their hand with a ruler if they misappropriate the funds. Let's face it. So these are going to be interesting times, which do call for citizen involvement, citizens stepping up, and the police have all they can do right now. They're not going to be spending their time on what they see as misappropriations of funds. They'll say, oh, that belongs to the IRS. The IRS is overwhelmed just like everyone else. So if you're not monitoring your local businesses to make sure that they are spending their money to prop up your economy, who will? So this is your call for engagement, to monitor your local businesses and to be involved and to make malfeasance known. Because if nothing else, people can boycott and elevate this on social media and definitely shame them into possibly retrieving some of the funds or having it spent as it was meant to be spent. So I, definitely encourage you to be, involved. Use your computer. I'm not saying go out and picket or anything. Do not risk your safety. But from the safety of your own home, at your laptop, at your computer, monitor these businesses and make sure that money is staying in your neighborhood and not on a trip to the Bahamas. And with that, I wish you all a good night and you all stay safe and remember to wash your hands and let's flatline this curve. All right, good night.